Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So guys, the World Championship qualifier for North America has just ended, and Patrick Cobain is our champion with Dragon Rulers. Giving the guy much respect. Definitely clap it up for him because he is an excellent duelist. The guy has topped multiple YCSs. He hasn't won a YCS, but it doesn't matter because he won nationals now. And I played him in real life. It was at a regional a couple of years ago. He was playing Plant Synchro. I was playing Karakuri Machina Plant. It was the event that I got 9th in. I won game 1. He ended up winning 2 in a row. So the dude has skills. He's a really, really nice guy. I could kind of sense back then that he was really, really good. And, you know, that something like this or a YCS win wouldn't have really shocked me. You know, if you would have told me that this guy would eventually win one. He did it with Dragon Rulers. I thought that the deck was favored to win. You know, he had a lot of good, interesting tech in his deck, and he just played really smart. And more importantly, I think he got Super Rejuvenation banned. Like, did you see his top 16 feature when he opened, or he had 3 Super Rejuves turn 1? And at one point, he had 11 cards in his hand, and he had to discard 5 of them. Of course, they were all dragons, so it was like, well, he has so much fucking dragons in his graveyard. Everything, obviously, is going to search other things. I mean, this guy basically is loaded. And then, my understanding, he won game 1 against Spellbooks in the finals. Spellbooks took game 2. And then in game 3, he had, you know, Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. I've said it to Prophecy and Spellbook players before. You know, so many people out there think that the deck is the greatest thing ever. I still never really believed that it was better than Dragon Rulers. I never really thought that, you know, Spellbooks would win this event. But the problem with the deck ultimately is you have this one glaring weakness, that being the fact that you really don't have a lot of balance in the deck. I mean, most Spellbook decks out there run about, what, 24 spells? That's over 50% of your deck. You know, you can make the same argument for Elemental Dragons. You know, they rarely run traps. Everything is pretty much monster-centric, but, you know, Crush card is banned. Deck Devastation Virus, you know, isn't a card that sees a lot of play, although it did see a good amount of play in this event because, you know, you can hit hand traps, you can hit baby dragons, so on and so forth. I just felt like, you know, as good as Prophecy is, it still has that Achilles heel of if somebody uses Eradicator on you, you just scoop it up. Like, there's nothing in your deck outside of Solemn Judgment that stops that card, and it's something where every single deck in the format is going to side 2 of those at the minimum against your deck. You know, in addition to us now getting Crazy Box, which just it gives every single deck in the meta the opportunity to side against you. You know, I think that this is actually going to weigh heavily on the ban list. I mean, if you saw some of those fields where people had Kaiku with like double Star Hall with like, you know, 8 counters, it was ridiculous. You know, I said it before, the multiple Super Rejuves in a turn, I think that card's going to get the hit. But this was pretty much what was to be expected. You know, top 4 was 3 Dragon Rulers, 1 Prophecy. My understanding is that Prophecy and Dragon Rulers pretty much were almost exclusively the top 32 makeup. I know that Alexander Thomas, you know, took top 32, but, you know, we really do, at the end of the day, have a 2-format race, you know, when it comes to the competitive meta. And that is a little disheartening, but, you know, it is what it is. But not to get too long-winded, congratulations to Pat O'Bane. Couldn't happen to a nicer and more skillful duelist out there. Good luck, dude, and represent us at Worlds. Thank you guys for watching as always, and take care.